War Games, the match beyond the main event for Fright Night 2011. Of course,
ladies and gentlemen, the following contest, the main event of Fright Night 2011, is the 3-on-3 War Games match. Two wrestlers, one from each team, will start off the contest for a 3-minute period. At the end of that period, the team with the advantage will send out its second man. They will have the advantage for 2 minutes at that point. The second member from team number 2 will make their way to the ring, making it a 2-on-2 encounter. After that period of 2 minutes, it will be 3-on-2, and after that period, it will be 3-on-3. The match can only end on pinfall or submission. Introducing the member from team number 1, accompanied by the Reverend Dan Wilson from Zug Island, Michigan, one half of the Hate Junkies, Stryknyn.
you heard the rules from Brett Wolverton. Stryknyn starting for his team. We're about to find out who's going to start for the other team. We do know it's a member of the Urban Assault Squad by the music. But will it be Nemesis or the injured Shadow Jackson? We're about to find out when he comes through that curtain. As this match goes on, we'll explain the rules. If you're new to War Games.
And from team number 2, hailing from the concrete jungle, weighing in at 265 pounds, he is one half of the Urban Assault Squad, Nemesis!
This is Nemesis' third War Games match here in NWA Anarchy. It's Stryknyn's first.
That may be true, it is Stryknyn's first. However, I feel like War Games is totally designed for someone such as one half of the Hate Junkies, and certainly Reverend Dan Wilson as well, who is on the outside.
And right now, it is underway. Nemesis and Stryknyn starting War Games. They will go for a time of 3 minutes, at which point the next member of Dan Wilson's team will come to the cage for a 2-on-1 advantage. That will last for 2 minutes, and then the second member of the Urban Assault Squad Kimo team will come out. That will alternate until all 6 men are in the cage. Then, the match beyond begins, where it is submit or surrender. Pinfalls mean nothing. There is no disqualification. The only way to lose this match is to submit or surrender. Saying I quit, throwing in the towel, tapping out, or all ways you can submit or surrender in this one. And of course, we know that the advantage was gained by Dan Wilson's team just a week ago on NWA Anarchy Television when Azrael defeated Shadow Jackson. But in the process, what was probably the bigger story is that Achilles tendon of Shadow Jackson was damaged a little bit. We haven't had a chance to get an update on the condition of Shadow Jackson, but we do know he's here. We do know he's part of War Games. And here at Fright Night 2011, the NWA Arena, Timmy D, this is what war is all about.
Absolutely, and you're certainly no stranger to being able to call the action of War Games. You have seen many of them here in the Anarchy Arena, and I'm sure at no time have you ever felt more the volatility that is going along with this matchup here at Fright Night 2011. And what's nice is that it has been determined by Franklin Dove to be able to do War Games here as a part of Fright Night, because as we've seen week in and week out, the chaos that has ensued for all these combatants here in this matchup, and I, for one, at least feel a little bit protected because of the cage, as all of them are on the inside. However, what do you feel like when you are on that inside? Because there's no way you can get back out.
Oh, wait a minute. Nemesis, I believe, was being bitten by Stryknyn there. Of course, this is my 6th War Games calling the action. The first one for me was Hostile Environment 06. It was Team Anarchy, Nemesis, Shadow Jackson, Slim J, and Ace Rockwell taking on the Dan Wilson-led team of the Devil's Rejects, which included Iceberg, Tank, Azrael, and dominance, that was 2006, a very personal situation there. And I'm telling you something, that's what War Games is all about.
And right there as well, too, while you were talking, that shows you the importance of that cage. It's that other man in that matchup, because you saw Nemesis using that cage, propelling.
Bringing out the next participant in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's Stryknyn's partner, Dany Only, that will be joining the fray here.
The second half of the Hate Junkies, Dany Only.
Nemesis seems to have had the advantage. However, the advantage certainly has to go to the team, mind you, of the Hate Junkies. And if you look, John Johnson, it looks Stryknyn has been busted open as well from that shot that he took to the cage. And then again, those fists from Nemesis. Nemesis sending Dany Only to the ride. And Stryknyn not really able to help out much because, again, right there, went for the big body splash. However, Dany Only got those knees up, and Stryknyn, already early into this contest, busted open badly, and he's still got a long ways to go in this match. The match beyond still hasn't even begun yet.
About an hour and a half south of here, back in 1987, stood the Omni in the center of downtown Atlanta. That was the first place for War Games, the match beyond. It was used to settle a war between the Four Horsemen, the Road Warriors, Dusty Rhodes, and Nikita Koloff. It was a bloody, brutal match. Throughout the years, War Games has continued to be one of the most brutal matches in wrestling history. Every year, it seems that the issues get more and more personal. There's a reason why you put up those four sides of steel. As my former broadcast partner Greg Hunter calls it, that unforgiving steel. Because the steel knows no enemy. The steel knows no friends. It only knows enemies. And it will cut anybody open.
Bringing out the second participant in team number 2 in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wait a second, it's the other half of the Urban Assault.
The second member of team number 2 is Shadow Jackson.
The rescue of his other team partner, Nemesis, at the hands of the Hate Junkies. Dany Only goes for the big swing and misses. Oh, right there from Shadow Jackson again. Stryknyn trying to go after him as well. Shadow Jackson, big slam. And he calls out to his people.
That ankle seems to be holding up well for Shadow Jackson. Like I said,
the steal.
The men in this match, Shadow Jackson, Nemesis, and Azrael, all three have previous War Games experience. And right now,
oh my gosh, look like Stryknyn's face. It's covered in blood. I can't even see his eyes. And then again, Nemesis just continuing to take that head and rake it across like a cheese grater and continue to open up that wound. And Shadow Jackson and Nemesis right now standing tall against the Hate Junkies. Hate Junkies, both of them are down. Reverend Dan Wilson on the outside again. I don't know what he's got in that cup, if it's blood or whatever, but he continues to wipe it on that cage. Symbolic again. Definitely seems like that seems to be the case as well for his team, the Hate Junkies. And right now the Urban Assault Squad having that advantage, and certainly have a little bit of an advantage as well too, when Stryknyn never being in a War Games himself. However, a disadvantage of Shadow Jackson coming in with that injury.
And right now, but like I said, that injury seems to be holding up well right now. There was no visible sign of any effects, and right now, as you see, Dany Only being rammed right in the cage.
Introducing the final participant in team number 1 in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, and John Johnson.
He is the NWA Anarchy Heavyweight Champion, Azrael!
The heavyweight champion, Azrael. And he's certainly, if I'm Reverend Dan Wilson, I would certainly get my big gun in there as best I can, because it's not looking too good for the Hate Junkies. As I said, both men busted open severely in this cage match, and we haven't even concluded this matchup yet.
And right now it's 3-on-2. Azrael through the belt. Nemesis, as a distraction, went right after Shadow Jackson. Now, going after the leg of Shadow Jackson, dany only. Azrael laid out Nemesis with that belt. And right now, Anarchy heavyweight champion.
That's exactly what you said, the Anarchy heavyweight champion. That is, I have talked about this on broadcast before. Do you realize the jeopardy that he is putting himself into right now, being in that cage as the champion? You may not walk out of here the same or even alive. How are you going to be able to defend that championship after these next couple of weeks? It's beyond me. And all right there, we've talked about it. You talked about the injury holding up, but it doesn't look too good right now for Shadow Jackson. Wincing in pain right now, and Azrael senses that and is trying to go in for the kill.
The hate junkies have been busted wide open. And right now, Azrael has the People's Champion Shadow Jackson over there in that corner. The hate junkies 2-on-1 with Nemesis. And right there, pushing Shadow Jackson off.
Right there on his leg as well, too, wrenching that leg. Out of all the ways to fall, again, to still work on that injured leg that he has, dany only got Nemesis up.
Bringing out the final participant in the match in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The final participant of team number 2 is the Korean assassin, Kimo. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now in the match beyond pinfall or submission only.
Taking Stryknyn, slamming face first into the cage, the already busted face. And dany only is going to get one as well. Kimo cleaning house right here. And now he's eyeing up Azrael. Calling for him. Oh my gosh. Big body drop right there into the cage, the back breaking across the cage.
And Nemesis has been busted open as well. The only 3 men in this match that aren't moving are Kimo, Shadow Jackson, and Azrael. But that could very well change here in a heartbeat.
Well, we warned you. We said it wasn't going to be pretty, and it certainly attests to that right now. But one thing's for sure, this case, Shadow Jackson going for it all and missed. And he's head first into that cage. And like you said it perfectly, that unforgiving steel. It is Azrael, Kimo going back and forth, trading those judo chops. Nemesis goes for the big splash right there onto dany only. And the hate junkie, a bloody mess up in here. And like you said, Nemesis as well, busted open.
And I believe Shadow Jackson may be lacerated too.
Yes, Stryknyn. Stryknyn biting him, biting the man on the head right there. And I think he has been busted open. And if he wasn't before, with Stryknyn adding to that, and he's going to take his head right there and ram it right there into the cage.
All 6 men in this one. Now the match beyond begins. It's submit or surrender. The match can end now that all 6 participants are in the ring, and it's 2-on-1 on Kimo.
I'm sorry, John Johnson, go ahead.
As the Anarchy heavyweight champion comes over, places a boot. We know the war that's been going on between these 2 men, Kimo and Azrael, as well as the Urban Assault Squad and the Hate Junkies, which made, this match a necessity.
Absolutely, and one thing that I've noticed, it looked like they were trying to take the belt off. And certainly we know the belt has been laid out on the ground. We've certainly seen dany only and Stryknyn using that a lot over the past couple weeks. But in this matchup, it's legal. Anything seems to be able to go because it's not about trying to get the victory per se. It's trying to survive the war. And we just saw Stryknyn right there using that shoulder into Kimo in the midsection, propelling Kimo into that cage. And Kimo came in with a wind of fire, but certainly seems to be grounded right now at the hands of that cage. And there's bodies all over the place. Kimo trying to get back up to his feet. Big blow right there against dany only. Reverend Dan Wilson on the outside, taunting, encouraging his man of the Hate Junkies, Azrael. Shadow Jackson going toe-to-toe. Big maneuver right there from Nemesis. And Azrael, again, meeting his back against that steel. Shadow Jackson able to move out of the way.
Propelling his body into that cage was Azrael. And it looked like Shadow Jackson may have had an advantage, but dany only was right there behind him. Oh, 1031.
How fitting for Fright Night.
But the thing is, a pinfall will not help him here. It's submit or surrender.
Absolutely. At that point, I feel like Shadow Jackson just doing whatever he could to try and get the Hate Junkies off him just for a little while. But again, the instincts probably tell him to go in for the pin. However, again, it does no good here. Submit or surrender. That's why this matchup's so volatile. Kimo on the top rope, holding onto the cage. Oh, big leg drop off the top of the rope onto one half of the Hate Junkies. And then Nemesis going to add a little as well to it on Stryknyn.
Like we said, you know, these high impact maneuvers, they will help in the long run, but it is submit or surrender. And right now, you see Azrael opening up with chops and punches. More chops now than before to Nemesis, but Nemesis reverses them back in the corner and lighten them up with those chops.
You can hear them all the way up here in our broadcast booth. It's vicious chops. And John Johnson, you've talked about it. You said you've called 6 War Games before. Would you agree these men, once they have completed this matchup, have probably never been the same after that?
You're never the same after a War Games match. This match changes lives in careers. That's what this match can do. I've seen men go to the hospital and stay there for a month after competing in a War Games match. I've seen guys disappear after War Game matches. So it's one of those things that, as a manager, you have to be very careful putting your guys in this situation because it does change.
And don't forget, again, we've got the Anarchy Heavyweight Champion in there, no less, too. So Reverend Dan Wilson, he's been around for a while. He knows what he's doing. But I tell you, when you put a great tag team like the Hate Junkies in there, certainly want to be going for those titles, and you put the Heavyweight Champion in there, the risk and injury and the reward, some question. However, look at this. We've got Stryknyn on the top rope. Oh, wow, a big shoulder block off the top rope onto Shadow Jackson. Shadow Jackson, look at him. He's wincing in pain right there.
And all 6 men are down.
The question, who's going to be able to get to their feet first? They all look like the battle scars in this matchup. Wow, the bodies everywhere. And Azrael back to his feet. It looks like blood on his chest as well. There isn't anyone out of this that's going to probably be able to escape any type of permanent injury, and certainly something that they won't be feeling for a while. Dany only on the top rope, big elbow drop, but miss. Kimo able to roll out of the way.
Dany only went for it all there, and Kimo able to move out, as you said. And right now, the Anarchy Heavyweight Champion.
Oh, and he's got the belt. Stryknyn right there again, week after week with that belt, and he's just using it against the back of Nemesis, and Nemesis just rinses in pain. Like the streets, just trying to fight out of any way possible he can to try and get an advantage, and he's now back up top. And now Shadow Jackson's got the belt.
Of course, no referee in the ring for this one, as is tradition with War Games, because it's not a safe place to be. The referees will take the submit or surrender from outside of the ring. And right now, wait a minute, has the choke. Oh, wait a minute, referee's right there. Oh, and Dany only saved Stryknyn.
That was certainly close. Submit or surrender.
Wait a minute, look at Shadow. Shadow Jackson had the belt wrapped around the chin of Azrael.
Referee fires over there to check in position.
I'm sorry, that was Nemesis, not Shadow Jackson.
Wow, and right now Dany only goes over to Stryknyn, trying to see if he can't help revive him just a little. The belt still in play against Nemesis. Both of the Hate Junkies right there with a big kick from Azrael onto Nemesis. And the bodies littered everywhere with the Urban Assault Squad and Kimo on the mat. And Reverend Dan Wilson's charge all standing tall right now. But if you call that standing tall, they'll bloody mess. Oh, the big DDT right there on the Shadow Jackson.
We actually might be in a very unique situation over here. Kimo was being checked on by referee Ken Wallace. If he can't continue, they could call this match, but he did not retreat. Referee cannot stop it. He has to actually be able to tap out or say, I quit.
And we saw Azrael right there with the leg drape of Shadow Jackson, again working on that injured leg already. I think Kimo, haven't seen much movement out of that. We've got 2 referees over there, and one half of the Hate Junkies continuing to work on Kimo. But yeah, I don't know if Kimo's unconscious. How do you say submit or surrender?
Absolutely right, and right now, all 6 men.
Wow, I have to tell you, this was a bold move right there by Franklin Dove, not at the helm for long, but calling into play for this War Games matchup. Not only are the bodies may not be the same, but he may not be the same as well too. Wow, the Hate Junkies went for it all right there. Luckily, Nemesis able to get out of the way, drop down. Don't know whether he was able to watch it or just fatigue kicked in.
Oh, wait a minute. Azrael has an ankle lock hooked on Shadow Jackson, and Nemesis makes the save. Azrael, while you were talking, took the boot off of Shadow Jackson. And right now...
It's absolutely to be able to get more access to that injured ankle already. Don't have any of the protection of the boot whatsoever. Shadow Jackson trying to stand up tall, see if he can't mount some offense. He's hobbling along. Look at that. Look at that. He's just able to do one maneuver and back down on the mat again. He's writhing in pain.
Referee D. Byers asked him if he wanted to quit. He said no. I can see it from over here. This right here.
He's shaking his head. On again with the belt.
Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Kimo has the submission hold hooked on.
Dany only trying to block it, trying to use any leverage he can. Kimo's got it cinched in. Oh, he tapped!
He tapped! He tapped!
Ladies and gentlemen, Stryknyn has surrendered the winners of the match, the Urban Assault Squad and Kimo!
Using that submission maneuver was Kimo.
Kimo got the submission hold on and wins War Games.
Wait a second, Dany only's got some handcuffs. He just punched out. I mean, the staff of righteousness with Reverend Dan Wilson coming in at the helm, distracting Shadow Jackson. Dany only's got the handcuffs, handcuffing Nemesis to the ropes and landing those boots. You've got to be kidding me. Azrael's got handcuffs as well.
They got the Urban Assault Squad trying to handcuff him to the ropes. Well, you know, that's where they belong anyway, is in cuffs.
Oh, give me a break, John Johnson. The match has already been concluded. However, Reverend Dan Wilson's going to make sure they may be the winners, but they're not going to win the war. What is going on here? Azrael, every man bloodied. Urban Assault Squad not able to help out Kimo. Kimo being assaulted by one half of the Hate Junkies as well as Azrael. Reverend Dan Wilson on the inside too. Oh, this is disgusting. We need some help out here. Azrael just laying into Shadow Jackson. Wait a second. We've got some people from the back. Johnny Dangerous making his way out here. Billy Buck as well. Lane Besser. I think the whole locker room's clearing out. They're trying to make their way in. Chaos galore here at Fright Night 2011. They're checking on Kimo, but the damage may have been done, John Johnson.
What an end to Fright Night 2011 here. As the team of the Urban Assault Squad, Kimo win War Games, but the Hate Junkies and the Anarchy Heavyweight Champions may have won the war. For Timmy D, Brent Wolverton.